When we troubleshoot OSPF, we have to start first at the basics. When it comes to basic troubleshooting, the most basic thing is it on, is it connected? Well, for a dynamic routing protocol, we need to verify that it has the fundamental connectivity so that it can exchange information. And that's about neighborship or peering or adjacency. Those three things mean the same thing. So when we talk about neighborship adjacency for OSPF, we see that there's an enormous number, probably more than any other routing protocol, an enormous number of things that can throw a wrench into the mix. And this is where we start. We don't start troubleshooting the advanced features. We start troubleshooting neighborship. How many neighbors do we have? Are those neighbors what we expect? And so we compare that against our topology. So if I were to log into DSW1, I would expect it to have the needed neighborship to R1. And we might have other unexpected neighborships as well. For instance, DSW1 and DSW2 may be neighbored together. Let's figure out what's going on here. So I'll do a show IP OSPF neighbor, and we'll see that we have neighborships. We have neighborships between DSW1 and R1, and that is likely this connection right here. Oh, and we also have a neighborship over a virtual link, and that virtual link connection is DSW1 to R3. Okay, so we have to have our neighborships in place. And yes, there is a virtual link going across here because we're going over area 1. We've got to have a lot of potential faults in our topologies so we can demonstrate the challenges. And that topology is a recipe for having challenging neighborships and troubleshooting of them. So let's just review what the issues may be. Interfaces not down, the network command not enabling it for the interfaces, timer mismatches, area ID mismatches, the wrong kind of area as in a stub area, different subnets. When I think of different subnets, I also think of a mismatched MTU. Passive interface is silencing the protocol. Authentication, which is about controlling neighborship. Access control lists, which may be preventing the OSPF protocol. Router IDs that are duplicate. You might have that if you're forcing router IDs. We wouldn't want that. Mismatched network types, and we see that in topologies like frame relay. And then no designated router on broadcast multi-access topologies. We need a designated router in order to form neighborships on links that are multi-access. You don't need a designated router on point-to-point links like HDLC and PPP.